that's what really opened up my thoughts to write my next project, to get involved in my next project, WITSEC Mafia. What it is it exposes this process. It exposes that these criminals, what they're doing is they're getting government absolution for their crimes. No matter how heinous the crimes are, no matter how egregious their acts are, doesn't matter. What they're doing is giving them deals. Testify, give us, if the target's big enough, like in my case, I was the biggest target in the country. My father's case, he was the biggest in the country. They used Sammy Gravano. Absolution for some 19, 20 murders, and they released him after 4 years in jail. John A. Light, similarly. And what they do was, they put them in WITSEC, and what these guys do is they don't want to adhere to the rules of the Witness Protection Program, because they're stringent rules. The Marshal Service has a tight grip on it. They'll relocate you someplace. They'll monitor you. They'll make you get work. You have to be gainfully employed. They'll do all of those things, or you'll be violating the rules of WITSEC, and you can't communicate with any former Confederates or family members. Whoever they deem a threat, you can't communicate with whoever they deem undesirable, okay? And I mean undesirable in the respect of it can compromise your location, your identity, and so on and so forth, okay? So what they've been doing now is they've been signing themselves out of WITSEC, and basically their control agent from the FBI would give them a stipend and help them out, help relocate them, use them for information. But in all too many times, what's been happening is they've been rejoining them with their former Confederates. And in the case of John A. Light, he's rejoined with Patsy Andriano, Mike Malone, a guy named John Lito, Johnny Balls Lito, another drug-dealing guy convicted of murder who testified against Angelo Prisco, and they were going to use him against me in my case as well. They were all hanging out. They were all thick as thieves. They're doing things together on the streets, right under the nose of the parole services, who's pretty much being neutralized by the FBI, by these particular control agents in the FBI. And this is not an isolated case. This has happened with the Giannini crew in Queens, another violent crew that's also several of their key members have become cooperating witnesses. They've committed very heinous crimes. In one case of burning a kid to death, burning while he was alive, dousing him with gasoline and burning him to death, the kid. You have a serial bank robber named Gerard Bellafiore. His middle name was Skeevy. Again, a Ted Otto student. He's a guy who went in WITSEC after doing so many numerous bank robberies. And upon getting released from prison, very short period of time, he was relocated to Florida with other Confederates of his. And what did they do? They did what they do best. They went back to bank robbery. While he's calling Ted Otto numerous times on the phone, while he was casing one particular bank, he was having a conversation with Ted Otto. How's it going, Ted? How's New York? What's going on? Yeah, it's hot as a bastard over here. The guy's casing a bank, okay? And this was one of his CIs, okay, one of his cooperating witnesses, CW. I should say CW testified, okay? So one of his charges, let's say. So all too often, in investigating this, okay, when I was working on my own book, Shadow of My Father, I started coming across time and time again of this happening. So I decided to get involved with this WITSEC project, this WITSEC Mafia project, to do a book to expose the wrongs of that program, and hopefully it'll generate a Senate hearing or something along those lines.